find something crap just happens to you? I don't know. Oh, here's an example. I bought a car. I don't even know if many of you know the story. So this is a story about manifestation and about things happening for us when we're open to receiving. Okay, so it's a two-part story. The first part is around me buying a new car. I needed, for lack of a better word, I needed to purchase a new car. I researched cars. I found a car I wanted to get, the make and the model, and I chose a colour that I thought I wanted to get at the time. I visualised it. I visualised my logo on it, and I started searching for this colour of this particular vehicle on the Sunshine Coast. I test drove a lot of cars, a lot of this particular colour, this particular model. It was a black Mazda CX-7. I test drove a lot. In fact, I almost bought one. I almost bought a few, but one in particular, we got so close. We decided on the price. I was going to pay the deposit to this gentleman, and he rang me and said, Lauren, I'm so sorry. I've had hip surgery, and my surgeon has said I need to use the car. I can't get to work. And I think he had a bigger car or something, I'm not sure. But anyway, the point is, universe went, no. So I was getting frustrated. And while I was getting frustrated, I thought to myself, well, what is it, universe? What is it that you want me to know? Because I really want this car. Am I set in my ways? Am I being controlling around the colour? Colour, maybe it's not meant to be black. So then I started looking for white Mazda CX-7s. Do you know what I did to help with my manifestation? I rang Mazda on the Sunshine Coast and I spoke to the salesman, the used car salesman, and I told him what I wanted. I didn't hear from him for 24 hours. So I went to Mazda on the Sunshine Coast and I found Scott. If you're watching, hello Scott. And I said, Scott, this is what I need, a white Mazda CX-7. And I described everything I wanted and I said, can you please write it down and help with my manifestation? Because when we write something, it's really powerful. You see, this is what we do in yoga. He probably thought I was mad. But here he was writing down everything that I wanted. And I said, please Scott, I don't want to be one of those women that walks out of your life and I never hear from you again. I said, I need this car. Okay, I did tell him about my situation, this car that I was driving around that had an attachment to something in my life with my marriage, because when things turned a little challenging enough for us, we had to buy this car because it's another story. Anyway, I told Scott my story. Scott needed to hear because I thought it's going to really motivate him to start looking for this white Mazda CX-7. Didn't hear from Scott. I texted Scott. I was like, sending him text. I didn't do it every day. It was sort of every second day. Like, in fact, Scott messaged me this morning telling me that he had a grey one to look at. I'm like, thanks, I've already bought the car. Anyway, bless this man. So I text him every couple of days, found me my car yet, white CX-7, no, sorry. One day he said to me, Lauren, it's my RDO. And I said, okay, work your magic tomorrow. Anyway, so then I thought to myself, am I still controlling this situation? What is it, universe? Tell me what it is. And of course, I went on to have a conversation. The next person you have a conversation with, there it was. A friend of mine said, why are you looking at the Sunshine Coast? You need to go to Brisbane. I was like, oh, I don't want to go to Brisbane. So I started to look at Brisbane. And there was a number of white Mazda CX-7. So I thought, okay, cool. I'm only doing one trip because it's a decent round trip from Sunshine Coast down to Brisbane. So I had my friend visiting from Melbourne at the time, so here I am killing two birds with one stone because I'm kind of into that. So, hey, we can catch up while we're driving all the way down to Brisbane and back again. So we went down, checked out this car, and it was awesome, right? And I thought, yep, it's going to work out absolutely perfectly for me. And I said, I'm not going to call him. The guy called me the next day. I told him exactly how much I wanted to spend. And I also said, I want to spend this much. And I said, and I don't want to drive to Brisbane again. So I'm willing to pay extra if you were to drive it to my house, into my driveway. And he said, yes. So there it was. Friday night, this car got driven into my driveway. I got it for the price I wanted. Everything worked out perfectly. Part 2 of the story, driving the car around, enjoying my new car, driving my daughter to school. And there was a car, if any of you have children, you know what it's like around school traffic time. They're moving quite slowly. Anyway, the lady in front of me decided to reverse into me to make room for someone else somewhere. And I saw her put the reverse lights on, and I saw her coming towards me, and I started beeping the horn. No, you can't bang into my car. Like, if it was the Holden the week before, she could have banged into any panel and no one would have really noticed, right? Sure enough, she banged into my car. Now, before yoga, I would have probably got upset about that. I would have been like, oh, why did that happen? Poor me, and that sort of thing. But you know what? Yoga has taught me so much that I was like, oh, okay. I'm going to deal with the situation first, but something has happened here for a reason. So of course, as luck would have it, one of my friends was walking along the street at the time, so she was able to take my daughter into her classroom. So that little issue was dealt with. Then I went and spoke to the lady, the owner of the car, and she eventually admitted to fault. And we got each other's numbers and we went on our way. And eventually she said, I'm really sorry. And I said, no, it's okay, these things happen. It's not the end of the world. It's an inconvenience to go to Smash Repairs and that sort of thing and to call up your insurance, but it's okay. It's okay because something wonderful is about to happen to me. I was leaving to go to Bali here only a couple of days later, so I was emotional about saying goodbye to my children, and I was wanting to put together a whole lot of content for my new course that I'm doing. And I had also been manifesting a mentor for some time, and I knew sort of what this woman looked. It was a woman, because I do have a fantastic mentor, a number of mentors, but I've got one that I work with quite regularly. But this woman just kept coming in, and she had like, a certain dollar figure of a business and all these sort of things that I wanted to bring in. Anyway, of course, would you believe, I walk into my yoga studio and there comes Karen Smith. Some of you might know her. Karen Smith is a motivational speaker. She travels around the world. She teaches people to speak and to run workshops, and she does a lot of video and online courses and businesses. And I was like, oh my gosh, Karen Smith is here. And I said to her, yeah, Karen, I said, it would be awesome if you don't mind. I'd love to, have some time with you if you've ever got time in your day. And she said, what, today? And I was like, oh, no, not today. Like, we'll make a time to meet up. And she said, I've got a meeting after class. Anyway, she went and changed her meeting and came back to me and said, I've cancelled my meeting, I can give you half an hour. In that short 30 minutes that we had together after class, we connected on so many levels. I told her all about my course, and she offered me a few hours of her time the following day to help me put together this course, to mentor me with my business. I mean, how blessed am I? So I said to her, okay, and I wanted to give her some yoga to say thank you, so I gave her some yoga time in memberships. And then she arrived at my house the next day, and she actually ended up staying for 3 hours. I had my intern there, so Alex and Karen and myself, and we planned out this whole course. We spoke about business, about suppliers, about tech people, graphic designers. I've got all this new content, all these new ideas, and I'm so grateful. So every other person that said to me, oh, you poor thing, someone banged into your new car only 4 or 5 days after you had it. No, because something else happened. It gave me the nudge that I needed to perhaps step up and ask Karen and talk to her. Here is the rain. This is what happens when amazing things happen, you see. So the rain is very much about cleansing and clearing away the old and letting in the new. So next time something like that happens to you, when something happens and your car gets banged into, please know that something else is around the corner. So that's how we let go of one, let in the new. Sometimes the universe wants to do it for us and give us a really good nudge, okay, if we're not listening. Manifesting that car, if you want something in your life, okay, now the manifesting can take a long time. I'm sorry to say that. I think I started looking for a new car a good 6 months ago, and it has been a frustrating battle, but it wasn't until I finally listened and I got it right as to what colours and where I was meant to be looking. Power of manifestation, but you need to tune in and to listen to get what you want and to live the life that you want. It is an honour to share this. I'm getting rained on, and so is the camera, so I'm going to sign out. It always is Tom watching. It always rains when I do things like this, like it's pouring. Namaste. Love you all. Bye bye.